Hi, I'm Raj with Pink Chai Living, and today I'm continuing my series in partnership with Save On Foods, introducing you to a traditional Punjabi thali for Vaisakhi. Today's recipe is Shahi Paneer, and we're going to be making a quick and simple version that you can make at home to take part in the festivities too. I've started by heating up my pan a little bit, and I'm going to be adding in some desi ghee. I know some people are hesitant to use a full fat butter, but this is really a very healthy butter and adds so much flavor to the recipe. Once the ghee is heated up, I'm going to add in some whole spices to add a really great base flavoring to our recipe. We've got some bay leaves, a few cloves, and as well as some green cardamom. And of course, our secret and most special ingredient is a piece of cinnamon. A cinnamon stick adds great fragrance to any Indian meal. We're going to let these roast for about 30 to 60 seconds in the warmed up ghee. Once our whole spices are roasted up and we've got a beautiful fragrance happening in the air, we're going to add about 1 cup of onion puree. I made this by blanching a few onions and then pureeing it in my small food chopper. You want to keep moving the onion around a little bit so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan, and then you're going to let it simmer for 2 or 3 minutes until it gets just a little bit golden brown. Now that the onion has browned up just slightly, I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. I actually found this pre-mixed ginger garlic paste at my local Save On Foods and was very excited. Saves a bit of time in the kitchen. I'm also going to add in this cashew paste, which I made with 5 or 6 cashews that I kept in water for about 15 minutes and added about a tablespoon of coriander seeds. Give that a good mix. And to our tempering, I'm also going to add a few spices. We have a little bit of turmeric, about a teaspoon of coriander powder, and red chili is really very optional in this recipe. Shahi Paneer is meant to be quite a sweet dish as it is, and my kids don't like extra spicy food, so if I want to bring them to the table, I only put a pinch of red pepper in my food. We'll give that a stir and we'll let it cook down again for another 2 or 3 minutes. So our ginger garlic paste has been cooking down with the onions for about a minute now, and it is smelling amazing in here. I have to say I'm really impressed with all the spices I've tried out from the Sundar brand, because the mark of a good spice is not only how good it smells when you open the package, but when you're cooking you should also be able to smell all the flavors from within the spice as well. Now that the ginger garlic paste and the onions have gotten nice and brown together, we're going to add in 1 Roma tomato that I've already pureed. This tomato is what's going to give the Shahi Paneer a little bit of that pinkish color. At this point, many people might add in food coloring. I try to skip that step and keep it as natural as possible. So let's let everything cook down together for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. Once the tomatoes are cooked up as well, you can remove the whole spices because they've done their job flavoring the dish. And now before we move on to the cream sauce, we can add some salt. Salt is about a teaspoon. I'll give that a good stir. Once we've added the salt and given it a good stir, now we're ready to create the cream sauce. The cream sauce base is a good thick Punjabi yogurt. You're going to add about 1/3 cup of yogurt to your mix. And I'm also adding about 1/3 cup of warm water. You want to keep the stove on a medium to low heat so that the yogurt doesn't curdle, and make sure you mix it really well for about 30 seconds. Once the yogurt is really well incorporated into your base mix, you're going to let this sit and simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes so everything comes together. Now that the yogurt has cooked down into the sauce, we're going to add about 1/4 cup of fresh cream to add that beautiful sweet Shahi Paneer flavor. And then of course your star ingredient is your paneer, which I've already cut up into cubes. I like to make my Shahi Paneer heavy on the paneer, but you can choose to put little or less depending on your taste as well. Now, one last time, we're gonna let everything cook together for about a minute and a half, and then we're gonna be ready to plate this up and serve. Now that our Shahi Paneer is all done, I have one last trick up my sleeve. I love to finish with kasuri methi, which is a beautiful finishing spice that I don't think gets enough recognition in Indian cooking. I'm gonna give it a little sprinkle. Mix it up, and this Shahi Paneer is ready to hit the thali.